Okay, here we go. So first thing I'm going to show you is the selection box. Like if you want to do a drop down, something like that. It's a little bit different because it's not an input, it's a select. To access the selection box over on a different page through the post array, it needs a name. So you give it a name. Select box. And you can close that tag, and then we put the options in here. And so to do that, you'll do option, and option gets a value, and this is what you're going to reference in the selection box as to what it is. So I'll say 1, and then you can specify which one you start with the selected attribute. Oddly enough, so that'll be like the default value, and then whatever you want this to say. You can put a 1 here, or you can put 1, or whatever you want, and then you close your option. And we'll do a few more of these. And since this one's not going to be default, I don't need the selected attribute at all. We can just continue just like that. In fact, I will copy and paste this guy and then modify it. I think that works. So here's my drop down box, and you can see it's got whatever I put in between the tags, and 1 is the default because we said that would be selected. You can pick one of those and then add your submit button and reference that option on the other side. Simple enough. All right, now, what?
Oh, I see. I missed the closing the option.
Well, let's see if we can move it to the other side though. We'll do a form method equals post, and action equals, I've got a display file here, so I'm going to use that. I'll close my form down here. And then I need an input. Submit. Is that right? No, that's not right. See, the default is submit query. I just wanted to say submit. And I think that's value. Yeah. What do we got in display PHP? Nothing. So what if I want to get my value from my options, from my drop-down menu?
Probably gotta do
The
the post.
post thing.
Yeah. Then you do with post.
Okay. So PHP, well, let's get a variable and we'll here we go. Input equals $_ make sure this is all caps, post, and then what are we looking for in here? Select box, whatever you called it. Yeah, select box is what I called it on the other side, and then echo input. Don't forget the semicolon. Let's just see if that works. So if I click on 3 and I hit submit, I get my 3 over here. Notice this numerical 3. Why is that?
Because that's the value that we put into it, right?
Right, that's the value I plugged into that option. There. So you see how that works? Okay, if you want to weave in and out of HTML and PHP, or let's just say we want to weave out of PHP, we can close it with the question mark and the angle brace right there. And then we could open it again. We could do HTML things here if you wanted to. And then you can open PHP back up again. And you can write an if statement. So we can say if input equals, I don't know, 1. Or is greater than 1. Something of that nature. And then after you're closing parentheses on this if statement condition, you put a colon. And that's going to tell it that you're going to step out of PHP, but don't throw away what's going on here.
Wait, what does the colon do again? So
We're going to step into pure HTML now. Otherwise, you have to echo out HTML. If you want to do HTML inside of a PHP if statement or a switch or anything, you have to do an echo in front of it. And you echo that stuff out using, when you change stuff together using the dot, and that can be annoying. So sometimes it's just better to step out of PHP, and so this is what this does. This HTML will hinge on this if statement, but then I don't have to echo the HTML out. Does that make sense? Let me see if I can format.
Yeah, you got that space between the question mark and PHP. I think
Here?
yeah, I got that.
Oh, you're right. I'm surprised it's that picky about the white space. What am I doing wrong here? I may have to tell it this is HTML.
No, that works.
Why is it angry though?
Yeah, why does it not like that do HTML thing?
Oh, it's saying that, it's probably saying it's misspelled or something. HTML.
Yeah, it says misspelled
No,
word.
mine automatically put the end in.
Well, if I close it right there,
On line 8. Oh, yeah,
syntax error.
Yeah, mine automatically put this end in here.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, you do need to close, you need to come back and close this PHP at some point. So that will be PHP indif semicolon question mark angle brace. And so this will only happen if this if statement is true. But if I don't use this thing here, I will have to echo this out. Does that make sense? Let's see if this runs. If I do a 1 and submit, yeah, I don't get this line because it wasn't greater than 1. But then if I do anything greater than 1 and submit, you'll get that line that's in between the if statements. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not connecting.
I kind of understand just the whole like.
Okay, this could be a lot more than just a string that just says this is the HTML. You could do any HTML in here you wanted to. It could be complicated. It could be buttons and tooltips and all kinds of crazy stuff. But what if you only want that to happen if they chose a 1 or a 2 or something like that? You wouldn't want to have to type echo in front of everything that happens in HTML. You can. To me, that's annoying. To me, this is a lot cleaner. I step out of PHP, I write my HTML however I want to, and then I come back here and I close it off. And we can do else if the same way if you want to do that. You can PHP else if, you know, condition true or false or whatever, and then, you know, do other HTML stuff based on that. Instead of putting true here, it would probably make more sense to base it on a variable like if input is equal to 4. So I should only see this line if I choose 4. I can put a button there or any HTML code. And so what this little colon here just allows you to step in and out of HTML and PHP. And you do have to have the indif with the semicolon. That's the one people forget at the end of this. So it just shows kind of the flexibility of using PHP, which is said to be one of its strong points. So hopefully now if I push 4, this is the HTML. Oh, because it's the first if that hits, that's just standard logic, right? If this one hits, then it's not even going to look at the rest of these. So what I could do,
You just change it to a if from an else if, and then it probably would.
yeah, then I would get both. But I want to show you how to do an else if. So if puts greater than 1 and less than 4, do that, right? And hopefully, if I pick 4, I will see other HTML things. There it is.